Have you noticed that black Americans don't think anyone else is black apart from them? Can't lie, man. Being English, I'm thankful sometimes because the accent that you gave me, it saves me across the world, fam. Before they think I'm a typical you guys will say something that lets me know I am different to you. Oh, have you noticed that black Americans don't think anyone else is black apart from them? Can't lie, man. Being English, I'm thankful sometimes because the accent that you gave me, it saves me across the world, fam. Before they think I'm a typical you guys will say something that lets me know I am different to you. There was one time we went to New York and me and my brother just crossed the road anyhow. When we crossed the street, one policeman stopped us. Excuse me, sirs. Y'all can't cross the street like that. Y'all can't cross the street like that. Obviously, me and my brother are just kids. So we've told him like, oh, we didn't know we can't cross the street like that. We're sorry, we're not from here. Do you know what the policeman said to us? Do you know what he said? He said, man, I like that accent. Y'all free to go. Y'all free to go. I thought y'all was black. In our face, he said that he thought we were black. So what am I then? You're not black. You can't be black. All blacks be all British. Blacks be crazy as fuck, man. How the fuck y'all be black, British, African at the same time? How you do that shit, man? Make up your mind.
Here's the interesting fact. Black Americans, it's not just them, or rather some of them who think like this, is Americans in general. Americans put everything in one group, okay? At least nowadays I would hear them say things like Italian Americans, Hispanic American, but still they put them in one group despite them doing those things. And I probably know that they've been doing it, but despite them doing Hispanic American, Latin, they do things like that. Latina American, they do things of sort. I'm not joking. Like they do things of that. They do Black American. They do Japanese American. Those type of things. So I don't think they select that. They don't understand things like nationality, your ethnicity, your citizenship, and those type of things, your race as well. They don't do things like that. So they kind of like confuse your nationality with your race as one thing, including your ethnicity as one thing. So with American is very different. So I kind of like understood what he meant because I have to understand American terms to understand where they mean. Obviously, they do not mean that you're not black. Obviously, they can see that you're black, but they don't mean it like that. This is how they mean it. And an African Americans or Americans can, correct me if I'm wrong. They mean that you are not black from here. You are black elsewhere. There's a black American stigma that follows American. So they are talking about their own black people. You're free to go because they don't know you like that. So the minute you speak, you're free from the bondage of black American that keeps up black Americans. So the black Americans, the moment they speak, they know on sight that this is a black American man. So nowadays we have black people, right, who just like copying everything. Even though you weren't born like that, but you've had black Americans who speak the way that they speak and you copy them. So they can't tell the difference. So they start attacking you like you're a black American. But the minute you keep your accent, you keep your ethnicity, you keep your race, you keep your nationality, you keep everything intact as you are, and I go to the States and I don't change anything, they won't treat me like I'm a black. I'm going to have the smoothest transition into America because I am authentic to who I am. So obviously they know they're not talking about that blackness of race. They're talking about their blackness of being American in American soil as a black person and the stigma that gets to follow black Americans. So I really wanted to teach another man. I just can't find his video. He did a detailed analysis of why that is. So I saw it years ago and I still remember because I was educated on this. So I could be wrong. Like I said, I could be wrong. I tend to be educated. But From the ones that I have, we're gonna stick to those videos and we can learn together from the stereotypes and things just off from the get-go.
Something about his video so badly, so badly. So as a fellow Black American, okay, like, I do not know where I'm from, child. Okay, like, my family's been in Atlanta for generations. If it's not South Carolina, it's Georgia. And if it's not Georgia, it's Florida. They were somewhere over there. You know, I got a grandma that claims we Native American too, but I don't think so. I don't think so. And you know, we got the light-skinned cousins too. You know, we have some essay going on up in there. But hey, that is the Black American story. So I just got back from a 3-week trip through Europe with like 2 of my Black American girlfriends. And no, this is not about to be like one of those I traveled through Europe and I'm enlightened videos. I had a passport since I was born. Been on these borders, thank you. But it's different when you're like 22 and hot traveling the world compared to when you're 7 running on your parents' itinerary in like plaid Old Navy shorts. You know what I mean? So, you know, I was outside with my girlies. I had to do a little, you know, chatting up people. I didn't come across to see to talk to people that don't look like me. No, I'm kidding. I don't discriminate. Black American and African relations has always been something that's interested me ever since I moved to Boston because, you know, honestly, it wasn't until I moved to Boston that I even really encountered that many like Caribbeans and Africans. And also that their culture kind of dominated Black American culture. That was the first time I had experienced that. And I was like, oh, y'all lit. But also it was met with this like invalidation, like this constant invalidation of my Blackness. But it wasn't like in a purposeful way or anything like that. It was just them being like, oh, where are you from? And me not actually having like an answer that was Africa and then being like, so you don't know where you're from? It's like, boy, slavery. No, I do not know where I'm from. And at first, it didn't really bother me. It wasn't until this trip when I was literally in clubs, drunk, arguing with men about Black American and African culture that I was like, maybe this is triggering me. Maybe I should not be doing this. And I feel like I could make a 10-minute long video talking about the actual relationship. But what I really want to get at is we have got to find a way to like be kinder to each other about one another's cultures and actually come from a mindset of wanting to learn rather than so much protect who we are. And now that I'm looking at it, I truly think that that's what really bothered me was that when I was arguing with a lot of these men, it was like they were trying to tell me I'm not Black American, I'm actually from somewhere else. Like, I completely understand that my ancestry is from somewhere else. But in order for me to acknowledge that, I'm gonna need you to acknowledge the history of Black Americans. And once again, I think this is a 2-part. It's also for Black Americans to actually prioritize learning African history, teaching our kids African history, because our schools don't do that. Prioritizing trips there rather than other like super white places. And I don't really know what the point of this video was. It was just that I still don't know the point of the video, but I just want to remind y'all this is not a safe space for white people to come into the conversation unless you are apologizing for your atrocities.
How is that the conclusion that you came to? I promise you there is nobody in America or anywhere else on the planet that looks at you and sees anything other than a Black man. As a matter of fact, if I had to explain to someone that didn't know what race was, I would have no problem using you as a representation of the Black people. Now, before I get into it, are there a lot of Americans that are actually confused about the difference between African American and Black? Yes. That being said, even amongst people that do understand the difference, African American and Black are still used interchangeably here in America. For example, we have Black History Month, even though it's actually very much African American History Month. Some people don't like the term African American, and some people don't like the term Black, but most people don't have a problem with either and just use them interchangeably. So when this cop said you weren't Black, clearly he was just alluding to you not being African American. Otherwise, he would have been like, why is this little Black kid speaking in a British accent?
My journey of leveling up my life and existence, one of the most important things that I learned was to nuance everything possible. To not get into arguments with people who understand your plight and pretend not to. To not get in arguments with people who don't have the same end goal as you. And to not entertain people pretending they don't know shit that they know. I'll never formulate an opinion on an entire group of people based off of my one existence. That would make me an idiot. I fully believe that this man understands why Black is synonymous with Black people from the United States of America, the same way white is synonymous with white people from the United States of America. But when people just want to beef and argue, they'll pretend like they don't know things that they know. In African diaspora conversations, along with black men and black women going back and forth.
That's it, folks. So let me know what you think in the comments, because they pretty much sum up said what I was thinking. So even though they have Italian American and all of those things, they're just people who are confused about the ethnicity, race, and nationality. That kind of thing. I hope it makes sense, and let's educate one another and stop being ignorant. Thank you.
This is so real. I've been living here in the US for 1 year. I'm Brazilian and I'm black, of course. But I heard from people that I'm not black because I'm Latina, which is absurd. Also, black people. I don't want to generalize because there's a lot of black people that don't think like that. But there's a lot of black people that think that Americans, black Americans, are the only black ones in the world. This is like, it makes no sense to me. It feels like I have to prove my blackness all the time. Like they know what it is to be black because there's so many shit that happens in this country. But racism is a global institution. It happens everywhere. And all black people from all the world and all the shades are affected by it.
No one, and I mean no one, does anti-blackness better than a black immigrant or like a black person from the Caribbean or a black person from Africa or wherever else in the world that doesn't like African Americans. No one. And it's not even funny anymore. I'm legit concerned because they be the greatest coons. Like they'll say the most out-of-pocket, outlandish stereotypes or negative thing about African Americans, and I have to think to myself, where did this come from? Who told you this information? How do you know this? And it's even crazy because sometimes you'll find people that haven't even been to America, has never encountered an African American in their lives saying these things. And it's crazy because the way they talk about African Americans, you think African Americans are the furthest demographic from them, right? Put a black immigrant that can't stand African Americans on the phone and you'll be talking to a nationalist. Oh, they're lazy. Oh, they're thieves. This is what they do. They're criminals. This is what white people say about you. Like, you peep that, right? You understand that this is how they look at all of us combined. Like, before opening your mouth, you think white girl Becky's gonna know that you're Nigerian and the girl standing next to you is African American? Like, even if you had an accent, they'd probably say it's AAVE. At this day and age, 2024, you should not be pandering to white people. Where has it gotten you?